Orion platform is actually designed in such a way that we can have a glance of entire our IT infrastructure. So how do our IT layer looks like? We'll have an application and then we'll have a database. Both these application and database are hosted in a virtual machine, and this virtual machine is built on an VMware, and this VMware is attached uh, as a storage. This VMware has a storage attached, and all these are connected to network using routers, switches, and firewalls. Correct? Yeah. So all these to monitor, we need some kind of monitoring solution, right? So
Hmm.
SolarWinds has came up with different modules to monitor all these layers of IT infrastructure. So for network performance monitor, where it's a core module, we'll add the IP address, either it can be a router, switch, or a server into NPM. And then using NetFlow traffic analyzer, we'll extend the monitoring of our NetFlow, or what is the traffic coming into our network devices, where it is leaving, who is consuming most, who is talking to whom. All that kind of detailed view will be visible here in the NetFlow traffic analyzer. Okay. Whereas NPM collects the hardware health information, CPU memory information, disk information, some system related information, those things. And we do
Okay.
have some key features in NPM as well that we'll discuss. Whereas what does NCM do? NCM will actually help and keeps the configuration backup of our network devices. So what is the purpose of doing it? So just in case if you had some disaster recovery, or if you had some issues with the config changes, we'll have that backup in our SolarWinds server, and then we can directly import that backup on the newly spinned up router or a switch, or any changes made can be easily replicated by looking at the backup. Of course, not only the backups, there are other functionalities as well with NCM that we'll discuss, and we'll learn each thing in the upcoming sessions. So that's one future, our core future from NCM. We'll look into more futures and learn about more futures in NCM in the upcoming sessions. So yeah, virtualization manner, I was just telling you, right? All the applications and hosts, all the applications and databases are configured or installed on a VM, and this VM is built on some kind of virtualization layer, and that virtualization layer is nothing but ESXi hosts or Microsoft hypervisors or Nutanix clusters. We will monitor those hypervisors or ESXi hosts in this virtualization layer and enhance our monitoring related to our virtualization monitoring. Okay. So server and application monitor is something that is provided by SolarWinds to monitor services within the server, or to write some scripts and monitor that, or to do any kind of custom monitoring. We use server and application manager. The prerequisites for server and application manager is the server or the network device or the UPS should be added in NPM. Of course, for NTA, NCM as well, it's a prerequisite for the device to add into NPM. The device should be added into NPM, and then by using these three modules, server, application monitor, NCM, and NetFlow, we can enhance or extend our monitoring.
Okay. So means, okay, if you want to add server or want to monitor their services, so npm would be should be first we need to add this into the npm, or directly we
Correct.
can monitor through the SAM.
No, firstly we need to add into NPM, and then in SAM we'll create a template with the service name and assign that template onto the node that is being added in NPM, and then you'll be able to monitor your services. We'll look at all these things in practical, because you need not to worry about it.
Okay. Okay, okay. No, no, I
Yeah,
was asking only for servers. Actually, for and network devices, I know that like, for monitoring those devices, NPM should be there. But on
yeah.
only for servers, I wanted think like
For
only SAM is like, uh
yeah, for services monitoring, you need see, once you add a server, what information it will get is it will collect the system information like system name, which location is it, and CPU memory information, what volumes or disk spaces we have,
so through the
the
SAM or
information
NPM.
through npm.
Okay,
Through npm it will collect this information. And if
okay,
you want to monitor the services or the application hosted inside that server, you have to make use of server and application monitor.
okay,
Okay, did it make
okay.
sense?
Yeah. So means
And
like
then mm,
you cannot directly monitor like CPU memory volumes, from SAM, right?
no, because that is being pulled by SNMP protocol. SNMP
Okay,
protocol will actually is sufficient uh, to cap to pull that information, and all those are being pulled in npm, so we don't need to do that again in sam.
okay,
Yeah. And moving on to the next thing is to add the storage boxes here into this module, and then we can create alerts on top of the storage resource monitor. So database performance analyzer is basically using for monitoring our databases. We'll register our Oracle SQL databases into this module, and it provides all the information related to our databases like deadlocks, which query is taking a long time, is there any logs, is the database up or down, is the table space in the database getting filled up. All that information will be collected using DPA. Okay, and log manager for Orion is uh, basically it's a module from SolarWinds where we can send syslogs and traps to our SolarWinds server, and those logs, syslogs and traps will be visible in this log manager for Orion. What is a syslog? Syslog is nothing but system log. Each and every information, each and every server or a network device that logs information, whether logging in, logging out, any activity being performed, all that information will be transferred to syslog server. Any organization will have a syslog server, and from that syslog server we can send the important syslog messages to log manager for Orion to keep track of things, or to look out what is happening, or to alert on any syslog messages if you require. Okay,
okay.
clear with the syslog message?
Yeah. So basically, is it inbuilt in application, NPM application, or
No, it's a
this is
separate module, log manager. Log manager is free, is a free version provided by SolarWinds. It's a separate module.
okay?
Okay, but if you want some advanced level of log manager, I think it's log viewer. That is a paid one from SolarWinds. You have to purchase that from SolarWinds. Whereas log viewer, I think there are two things in that. One is a free trial and another one is a advanced one.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
And last thing is a server and configuration monitor. So these module I have kept it as a part of HCO bundle. So there is nothing much we can do with this module, but they have added in uh, HCO module as along with the other modules. So server and configuration monitor, we just have to manage our servers with this, and it pulls some inventory information like what patches does the server configuration manager has, what are the latest updates that it needs to be installed, what is the OS version, those information it will pick it up. But I don't think SCM is very much in depth. thing that can be used for our day-to-day monitoring or to do some changes or to keep track of things. Okay, so
Okay.
with this monitoring, we have on-premises, any SaaS applications, and cloud infra services as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving, any questions here?
No, but okay. We were talking about that SRM part, right? The VMware. So all are like ESXi hosts are there, right?
Yeah.
So okay, on which application being monitored, like how it
No,
works, like
no,
as
no. It SRM monitors at the infrastructure layer. Underneath that, we'll have a server, and while building a VM, we'll make partitions of that storage.
was not
So let's say you have purchased a hard disk, and that hard disk you'll do some partitions, right? This is C
right.
drive, this is D drive, this is E drive.
Correct.
And in the partitions, what are you doing? You are allocating some space.
Right.
Similarly, they'll purchase a hard disk or a storage device from Dell, EMC or Clarion. That
Okay.
they'll attach while building a VM, they will do the partitions to allocate sufficient space to each VM.
Okay.
You got it? We
Yeah,
will
got it.
add the thing at the infrastructure layer. Before doing the partitions, we'll add that storage box IP itself, and that IP information regarding LUNs, arrays, and everything. I recommend you to look at to get fully clarity about this, because the reason why is, uh, I mean, I'm not a storage guy, and if I tell you some information, I could only,
Right.
by the time it reach you, you'll only understand 50% of the thing.
Chandra, these all are mentioned here. The NPM, NTA, all are different modules, right?
Yeah. So these are all different modules from SolarWinds. Okay. Provided to
Okay.
monitor different layers of our IT infrastructure. Okay.
Means
Some for
layers means
storage
layer
monitoring.
2 నుంచి level from layer 2 to layer 7 we can monitor here. You are saying right?
Yes, similar kind of, but here I'm talking about infrastructure part, which means network, servers, storage, databases, applications. These seven layers I'm talking about. Okay, network monitoring, server monitoring, application monitoring, database monitoring. To achieve all these monitorings, we have this. Coming to Orion architecture, nothing but SolarWinds architecture. So we have main polling engine, and main polling engine is nothing but our application server, where these modules that we discussed in the earlier slide will be installed, and these modules will be talking to SolarWinds Orion database. Okay, we have one more database called NetFlow database. The reason why we have NetFlow module have only separate database for NetFlow module is because NetFlow data will be huge in numbers or huge in receiving the information. If we club these two, it will eventually impact the performance of our database. So SolarWinds recommended to have a separate database for NetFlow. Okay, and whatever in the monitored network here is nothing but network server storage. All that polling information will be collected by main polling engine, and then it will be writing to a database. Main
Okay.
polling engine will also have a website which is called IIS, Internet Information Service, and through which you can view the information collected by all the information basically about each and every monitored network.
Okay.
How,
Chandra, this Orin
yeah,
Web Console, this is the application, like, or it is inbuilt in application, like, uh,
No, this web console, while you are installing a SolarWinds software,
Mhm.
a website will be built for us
Automatically, right?
automatically within the software. Yeah, I'll walk you through the steps how to build a website as well. It will prompt you for a page to asking for a website details. At that time, you can provide this. So, what do we have in Sorayan architecture? We have a main polling engine where we'll install our application, and this of our monitored network, nothing but servers or switches or storage or databases through SNMP or WMI or SolarWinds agent, and then writes it to the SolarWinds Orient database. If from this monitored network, let's say if it's a Cisco routers, if you are receiving a NetFlow data, it will be written into NetFlow database, only the NetFlow data. And all the things, whatever you are monitoring and what is the CPU information, all that can be visible in the web console. Okay,
Okay, Chandra.
so
Chandra, one thing, can we know already in the existing setup and what are the modules we are configured, like database is configured or not, NTA it is configured or not? Can we confirm from our own in the existing setup in the office
yeah, okay.
environment? Like,
Okay, sure. I'll make use of SolarWinds demo page to show you how you can navigate to that. So Brahmam, in your to settings, or if you can go to my deployment, and then if you can go to, okay, this feature is now okay. So let me tell you, there are multiple ways to do that. So if you can come to the bottom and look at this black screen, you can see this black screen, right, Mahesh?
yes, yes.
So whatever modules you have here, SRM, WPM, and SolarWinds Hybrid Cloud Observability. So SolarWinds Hybrid Cloud Observability means recently they have came up with a plan called SolarWinds Hybrid Cloud Observability with all these modules here, except SRM and DPA. All the other modules, whatever you are seeing here, they have released as a bundle as SolarWinds HCO.
Okay. Apart
Okay,
from which you were talking, actually your voice was not coming.
SRM
DPM.
and DPA. Yes,
Okay.
all other modules you are seeing here, they have bundled as a name called SolarWinds HCO licensing, and they are giving it for a little bit by lessing their cost. So that is why verify it here to know the information of all modules and the version. Okay,
Can we know the which database we are using?
database SolarWinds supports only Microsoft SQL Server.
Okay, okay.
Only supports, no other database will be supported by SolarWinds. That I'll tell you in the upcoming sessions. You need not to worry about it. So I'll tell you how to do what in the prerequisite sessions which we have here. I'll tell you about the things over here. So I just want to take and explain you about the high availability as well. So SolarWinds, what is high availability according to you?
Uh, High availability
Yeah.
means like means every time your monitoring would be happen, either one server is shut down or their application is shut down, shutting down. When then you can services
Yeah,
would be switching over and then the monitoring will be
correct.
happen continuously.
Yeah. So the high availability that I am talking here is only about application level. Application level means SolarWinds level. So we SolarWinds application provides on the database level high availability. You can work with your database administrator and configure that. We will not be involved in database high availability, so you need not to be worried about that. So if you have a DBA, database administrator, in your organization, he should be able to help you with all the database level configuration. Okay, and coming to the application level, we have high availability within same LAN or within same WAN. Okay, if it is within same LAN, you have to make use of virtual IP address. If it is within WAN, WAN means two sites. You have to get a virtual host name. Okay, how the high availability works? I was telling about the virtual IP on the virtual host name, right? If let's assume these Orion server and standby server are on same subnet, then whichever is active, it will have two IP addresses assigned to it, a static IP address and a virtual IP address. This virtual IP address is the one that will be fluctuating between these high availability services. Suppose let's say if the standby server becomes active, this virtual IP address will be fluctuated to standby server, and all the logins or all the communication will be sent to standby server because the virtual IP is sitting over the standby server now. So if it is on a yeah, I'll complete it. I know it will be bit hard for you to understand now, but when I if you can understand the core concept of this virtual IP and virtual host name, will during the configuration it will give you more clarity. Okay, so and if it is on a two vans in, let's say, in two different cities, we'll give them the virtual host name, and that virtual host name will be responsible for fluctuating between these two servers, two high availability servers. Okay, so keep in
Okay.
mind that if you are developing or deploying your HA solution on the same subnet, you have to make use of virtual IP. If it is
Okay.
on a multi subnet, you have to have a virtual host name.
Okay.
Okay, and you need not to do anything for the failover. If any of our SolarWinds application services is not responding, automatically a failover happens to standby server.
Okay.
So, and how you actually configure HA, I'll show you. If you go to settings and my deployment, I'll show you a main pool here. So basically, these are the two servers. Let's assume if you have two servers, 10.0.100.1 and 100.2, and you have installed that SolarWinds on that, and you have set up a high availability pool for that. Once you set up the high availability pool, it looks like this. They both are under one pool, which is called main pool, active and standby. Now let's try to set up a HA pool for our additional polling engine. Don't worry about what is additional polling engine. We'll discuss about this additional polling engine. What is this additional polling engine in the upcoming sessions? So for now, I'll show you. See, if during the installation, if I give as HA server, it will it will prompt like as I set up HA pool in my deployment page. When you click on that, it will ask for which server is this is an active server. Now you tell me which active server. Accordingly, you have to select your active server, and then as these both are on same subnet, you have to give your virtual host name. dot 100.15, and then you can next and then create pool. That's it. Once you create the pool, you will have the HA setup like this, and 10.100.15 will be fluctuating between these two on whichever server is active. Make sense?
Uh, could you repeat once again, Chandra, please?
So yeah, so all, if you go to settings and my deployment, you'll be seeing all the servers where you have installed SolarWinds. I know it's a bit hard for you to take to discuss about the high availability right now, but I'll explain, and I'll take you one more time once the installation is complete. Okay, if you go to my deployment, you will be seeing all the servers where your SolarWinds is installed. If you look at this small box here, setup high availability pool, these box will pop up on the servers during the time of installation. You might have specified on this server as a HA server. Okay, makes sense till here.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
While we
during the
are
time of
taking,
mm,
yeah, continue, please.
well, at the installation, you might have set up this as HA, and you can click on setup HA pool, and then you have to select whichever server is an active server for this. Okay, got it?
Yeah, got it. Means
Okay,
these two
which
are
because
physical
you
devices, no?
not
Uh,
physical, everything is a VM, and you
Everything
have installed SolarWinds on all the VMs, and now you are setting up HA.
okay.
Okay, I
For
think
HA
we'll
purpose
park
only, we
this
need to
topic. I'll
purchase two. Yeah, okay.
yeah, I'll explain you at the once the installation is completed, so that you'll gain more visibility on it.
uh,
Maybe I'll
which
have to move this slide. Yeah.
Chandra, actually at that time you put it the virtual IP, which is for only for local subnet, right?
Yes. Yeah, as if you look at here, see,
Yeah,
they
same
both
sub
are on
local.
same subnet. I
Right, right, that's
can't. Yeah, yeah. By looking at the IP, I was just mentioning
right. Right. If they are in a different subnet, then you have to put a host name, right? Virtual host name.
virtual hostname, and that virtual hostname has to be updated in the DNS server first.
DNS in host entry.
Yes, DNS hosts. They will have a DNS server, right? And in that, we have to reserve our virtual hostname and give that hostname while setting up here. Here, we have to provide our virtual host name.
Okay, so this host name we have to update it, or we will get how he we will get that.
We'll have a DNS team, Vikas,
Okay, they will
and
provide
that
us
with
the.
that we have to raise a DNS host name, whatever virtual host name we want. They'll let's say if our servers are uh, Hyderabad underscore SolarWinds 1, Hyderabad underscore SolarWinds 2. These two are our servers. And if you want a virtual hostname, we'll ask our DNS team to update the new hostname as Hyderabad underscore SolarWinds. And we can give that virtual hostname here.
Here, okay,
Make sense?
okay, and yeah, I got it. And his entry should also be in our application server, like this host name entry also.
Uh,
Whatever host
host
name we got, we will put here, and that host name we also put it in our host files.
not required, because the DNS will be actually getting that information. All our servers will be connected to a.
Okay,
Okay, so it's not required.
okay,
The only place when we put the entry is when we do want to bypass the DNS servers and use the one that locally means, then we'll edit that. Generally, that should not be the practice. Even if you it will the DNS server will flush it after 24 hours or 48 hours and give it the name whichever we have in the DNS server. For lab practice, that is fine, because but in real
Okay.
time or in a real projects, we don't place anything locally.
Okay. Got it.
So DNS only required for only WAN, means to different
WAN for WAN
WAN
high
purpose.
availability. Yeah,
Got
WAN high availability. Okay, moving on to the next thing. So, like I was telling, right? So we'll have a main polling engine and we'll have our SolarWinds modules installed on it. So let's say we have 100 devices that main polling engine can handle the load. What if we have a 200 devices? Main polling engine can handle the load. 300 devices, main polling engine can handle the load. What if we have 600, 700, 1000, 10,000 devices?
it. Then it
We
cannot handle.
have to install SolarWinds on another
Next.
server. What are those called? Those are called additional polars. Additional
So
polling
this
engine
is the
or
additional
additional
license.
polars. Not no additional licenses. Yeah, with you can only thing you is for and you
Sorry,
can
your voice is not
install
clear.
Your
additional.
voice, Chandra, your voice for
Yeah, how
coming.
about now?
Now, no, fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you need not to pay for additional polling engine. You have to pay for you only have to pay for the module that you purchased. Okay.
Okay, because which the modules we have purchased, we have to install in this additional polar as well, right?
Yes.
Means that application,
Correct.
right? So
Correct. Correct.
for that we have to take license or like the same license which we have,
Not
or
required. Not required. For additional polling engine installation, you need not to uh,
pay, right?
purchase any license.
Got it. This is for node elements, sorry, devices,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
On the basis
Yeah.
of devices purchase, then okay. And this
Correct.
additional pollant we ask to the client for giving, or like our organization will ask, who will set up
We
the.
have to add our the client to provide a VM virtual machine, and we have to
Okay,
install our SolarWinds software on that virtual machine.
okay, got it.
Okay. According to SolarWinds terms, one server can handle up to 12,000 elements. What is
Okay,
an element? A node is an element, an interface is an element, a volume is an element. Let's assume you have, let's take a Cisco device and let's assume this as a router. Thing here is an element. One,
okay,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total 9 elements is being contributed to one router of DEN site. Okay. This is the elements calculation according to SolarWinds. Like this, 12,000 elements can a polling engine work without any issues. If you are
okay,
running out of these 12,000 elements, what have to do? You have to add your additional polling engine. What is an additional polling engine? You have to ask your client a virtual machine and you have to install a SolarWinds software on it. And these additional polling engines will be eventually connected with main polar
okay,
polling engine depending upon your capacity.
Okay.
So
That
what
also
one more
additional
difference
polling
we
engine
have
also have
from
12,000, no? Sorry.
Yes. If
That additional
even
polling
if the
engine also
additional
have
polling
12,000.
engine, correct, if it reaches 12,000, then you have to spin up one more additional.
Okay. Means that also. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Okay, even that fills up, you have to come up with an you have to install another additional polling engine.
Okay, how can we map this additional polling engine with main polling engine in installation
Yes,
process?
I'll
We can
tell
understand.
you during the time of installation. Yeah.
Got
And one difference between the additional polling engine and main polling engine is you'll not be able to get this website on the additional polling engine. Main polling engine will have a website. Additional polling engines will not have a website. Okay, will
it.
not
Can we
install
see this
IIS
information
in.
in console?
Yes, the you are seeing it in the console only, right?
No, no, elements. How many elements are completed?
Yes,
Uh,
we can go to settings and all settings, and then if you come bottom to polling engines, okay, this request is, yeah, if you click on polling engines, you'll be able to see it. 1 minute. Right. Yeah, in your environment, if you go to settings, all settings, and click on polling engines, you'll be able to see that information. My deployment health is not. Yeah, settings, all settings, polling engines, like how I navigated here, you'll see a page like this. Here, it will show you the elements. Elements here is 129. Here it will show you each of your server elements. Okay, like this. In your project, you can have a look at it. I'll show you once we have our installation done. Got it? So this is how it looks like. Yeah, this page.
got it.
Polling engine, IP, which version is installed, when was the last time it got synced with, how many elements, 129 elements. Here you can see it. And one solar can support up to 100 polling engines. And what if we have uh, what if our main polling engine is also suffering a lot of login issues? So we'll have console only on the main polling engine, right? What if it has issues while too many users or more concurrent users make use of this SolarWinds additional website as well? Okay, and this additional website also should be installed like how a polling engine, and it will take some load from the main polling engine. Okay.
If you like our videos, then subscribe to our channel and be a part of the journey with GoLogica and stay connected with the latest videos.